What if I told you that a simple elevator game could open a door to another world? A world where time moves differently, where people vanish without a trace, and where a mysterious entity waits in the darkness for your soul. This movie is inspired by the infamous lift game Urban Legend, an internet legend that has terrified people for years. Some claim it's nothing more than a creepy story. Others believe it's completely real. But after a young woman enters an abandoned hospital to test the game for herself, she suddenly disappears. And what happens next becomes far more terrifying than anyone could have imagined. Today, we're diving into Tang Mei, a chilling Vietnamese supernatural horror movie that might make you think twice before stepping into an elevator alone. So, turn off the lights, get comfortable, and let's enter the dark world. At the beginning of the story, we are told that this movie is actually based on a Korean urban legend. Just then, we saw a girl named Gina who had made a video call to her friend, Trang. Gina told Trang that she had come to the same old abandoned, haunted hospital and she was going to play the lift game there, which is believed to be a supernatural haunted game. Well, she only went there to prove that this game is a hoax and everything said about it is just rumors. But what happened was that this game turned out to be real, proved to be dangerous, and suddenly, Gina's video call got disconnected, after which nothing was ever found out about Gina again. It seemed as if she had suddenly vanished into thin air. Well, just then, we could see a lot of drawings inside Trang's room, and one of those drawings was of a lady who looked absolutely terrifying. Now, this served as the intro of the movie, after which the scene moved forward by 1 year. We saw that Trang was now on medication because of what happened to Gina a year ago. After all, Trang was the one who had told Gina about the game. Because of that, she blamed herself for Gina's disappearance. She felt as if everything had happened because of her mistake. Then we saw Trang's cousin, Nak, who asked Trang if she took her medicine. And Trang said that yes, she had taken the medicine. Now, because Trang was going abroad to study, Nak thought of having a party at Trang's house with a few friends. And though Trang refused at first, she eventually agreed. Then, as Trang was heading home, she went and stood right in front of the elevator. But she started getting visions of that same old hospital. Through these, we found out that Trang and Gina had played that elevator game once during their childhood. Well, Nak arrived there just then, and we learned that Trang hadn't used the elevator since Gina went missing. She was incredibly terrified. Well, when Trang came home, we saw her taking her medications. Right then, her stepfather, Sun, was there. He used to be a doctor at that very hospital. He was reading Trang's diary, which contained the rules of that elevator game, the same game Gina and Trang had played in that hospital during their childhood. Well, the rules here were such that first, they had to go to that hospital. According to the game's rules, they had to visit different floors in a specific sequence. Well, first of all, they had to take the elevator to the 4th floor, after which they had to go to the 2nd floor. From the 2nd floor, they had to go to the 6th floor, then to the 10th floor, and the final one would be the 5th floor. Well, Sun was still reading this diary when Trang arrived there, and she found out that Sun and Gina were having an affair. Yes, indeed. Now, Sun asked her what that game was. So, Trang told him everything. She explained that whenever someone reached the 5th floor, a door would open to the dark world. Anyone who entered that place could never return. According to the legend, the Dark Maiden would appear on the 5th floor. And anyone who played the game and reached that floor would be taken away by her forever. Well, now Trang told Sun that Gina played this game intentionally, and she was playing the game to end her own life because all of this happened because of Sun. Sun said that he would fix everything. Now, here Sun gave Trang her insomnia medicines, but Trang refused to take them. Then, the scene shifted to the night, and we saw that Sun was inside that hospital, and he had come to play the exact same elevator game. Well, now Sun found Gina's phone lying in front of the elevator, the one from which Gina had made her last video call. Meanwhile, at home, all the friends were having Trang's farewell party when Trang got a call from her mother, who told her to check where Sun was because he wasn't picking up his phone. Her mother was about to arrive home in 10 minutes, so Trang sent all her friends back home. After that, Trang got a call from Sun, and he told Trang that he had come to that very hospital, and he would play the game himself to bring Gina back. Meaning, he was deceiving everyone here. It meant that although he had married Trang's mother, he was having an affair with Trang's best friend, Gina. Anyways, now he made a video call and showed the entire view. The whole hospital looked incredibly deserted and spooky. Now, Sun arrived at the 5th floor, and at first there was darkness everywhere. But just then, Sun saw a red light coming from ahead, and someone was standing there. Sun thought that it was Gina, but Trang knew that it was actually the Dark Maiden. But by the time Trang could tell Sun this, the Dark Maiden captured Sun as well and took him away. And obviously, because of this, Sun's video call also disconnected, just like what had happened with Gina. Just then, 10 minutes passed by, after which Trang's mother also arrived home. But Nok told Trang that they had to save Sun. But as for Trang, she did not want to go back inside that hospital. However, due to Nok's insistence, Trang had to go there to help Sun. Now, both of them rode a scooter to that hospital, and that hospital was truly deserted and terrifying. Going inside, Trang told Nok that the hospital was haunted and that is why it was shut down, and it had been lying closed for many years. Well, they had barely reached there when Trang's mother called her, telling her to come home quickly. Well, now these two also found Gina's phone near the elevator, and someone had recently texted from it. Meaning, someone else was also there who was none other than Sun himself, and he was the one who had texted here. Well, Nok didn't know that Gina and Sun were having an affair, and when she heard this, she got quite shocked because she had not expected any of this. Well, Nok insisted that they should play that game again, as only then could they save Gina. But Trang was deeply terrified of the elevator. She explained that only one person could play this game at a time. Trang would tell Nok what to do, and Nok would have to do exactly the same. Whoever went to the 5th floor would encounter the Dark Maiden there, and if they looked into her eyes or tried to talk to her, they would remain trapped in the dark world forever. So that was why Nok had to go to the 10th floor and wait, and then from there both of them would move forward together. Well, then Nok entered the elevator and she first arrived at the 4th floor. After that, she had pressed the button for the 2nd floor. Following that, she arrived at the 6th floor, and Trang was guiding her through all of this. But suddenly, Trang's head began to ache, and she collapsed to the floor, losing consciousness. Then suddenly, Trang got some visions, and those visions were connected directly to her childhood. Now she woke up and realized that Nok had gone to the 5th floor, and Trang quickly video called her. But as soon as the elevator opened, the Dark Maiden entered the elevator and stood right behind Nok. But Nok made a mistake. She saw the reflection of the maiden's eyes on her own mobile screen, and the Dark Maiden snatched her up and took her away as well. Now, only Nok's mobile was left behind in the elevator, and then a video call came through on the phone. It was the maiden. She kept telling Trang that everything was her fault, and now she had to come there too. Well, Sun was standing right behind her, possessed by the Dark Maiden, and he directly attacked Trang. To escape him, Trang ran inside the elevator, after which she first went to the 4th floor. Then the exact same thing repeated as she went to the 2nd floor. Then the 6th floor, and then she went to the 10th floor, which was exactly where Nok was supposed to wait, but she had gone to the 5th floor instead. Well, now Trang had also arrived at the 5th floor, and the Dark Maiden entered inside the elevator there as well. But Trang neither looked towards her nor did she say anything, and then the elevator went straight to the 10th floor. And I believe that this is likely what Trang had told Nok to do here. But what happened was that she fainted, due to which she couldn't give the instructions properly. Well, now Trang stepped out of the elevator here and began walking down the stairs. But the entire hospital was incredibly dark. Still, using her mobile flashlight, she was somehow searching for a way to get out of there. Suddenly, Gina attacked Trang there, knocking her unconscious, and Gina had also become possessed just like Sun. Right then, Trang got a vision in which Sun was trying to kill Trang's mother. Because of this vision, Trang regained consciousness, and she saw that she was tied up and Gina was injecting a black serum into her. Just then, Nok came from behind and knocked Gina unconscious, and Nok was not entirely possessed yet. Now, Nok took Trang and came out of that hospital with her, where we could see that the entire sky here was completely green, which meant these two were not in the real world. Rather, both of them were inside the dark world. Now Nok told Trang that the Dark Maiden tried to control her mind, and she wanted Nok to bring Trang to her. Here, Trang told Nak that the Dark Maiden actually wanted to possess them using that black serum. In other words, anyone trapped here becomes possessed because of this very serum. Nak explained that the Dark Maiden is now after Trang and her mother, and she had seen the exact same thing in her visions. They would have to get out of there quickly because the longer they stayed, the crazier they would become. And the biggest thing here was that time moved differently. Things were completely different, and to get out, they would have to complete this elevator game. Well, they were just talking to each other when Gina approached from behind and began injecting that black liquid serum into Nak. Trang quickly ran inside the hospital. She saw her phone lying in the elevator with an incoming call. And at that time, Trang was on the 4th floor. The Dark Maiden on the call was telling her to come to the 5th floor. Trang did exactly that. But then she tried to stop the elevator. Yet the elevator door kept closing and opening on its own repeatedly. On the other side, Sun had picked up Trang's mother and brought her to the hospital. And over here, the Dark Maiden was trying to control Trang's mind. Meaning, whatever the case may be, this Dark Maiden here is basically hunting down Trang and her mother. The elevator automatically moved to the 6th floor. And from there, it went straight to the 5th floor. That was where Trang finally encountered the Dark Maiden. The maiden told Trang to kill Sun. According to her, that was the only way to save her mother. Meanwhile, on the other side, Sun was trying to kill Trang's mother. Just then, Trang arrived at the 10th floor via the elevator, and Gina attacked Trang here. But Trang somehow managed to bring Gina back to her senses for a short moment, and since Gina could not control herself for long, she ended her own life because she could not bring herself to harm her friend. Just then, an incoming call from her mother started ringing on Trang's phone. But this call was actually being made by the Dark Maiden who was playing mind games with her. She said that all of this was her fault. Now, suddenly this elevator came down, and seeing Gina's corpse inside the lift, Sun released Trang's mother and pulled Gina's body out of the elevator, allowing Trang to quickly grab her mother and step back into the elevator. And now Sun moved to attack both of them. But Trang quickly pressed the elevator button, and the door closed. However, Sun's head got caught in the door and was crushed right there. Following this, Trang came to her senses, and she saw that all of this was just a dream and everything was perfectly fine. Meaning Gina was fine, Nak was fine, and Sun was fine too. Trang's mother reassured her that everything was all right, and then her mother went to her room, where Sun told Trang's mother that Trang was not taking her medications. Then Sun came over and gave Trang her medicines, and Trang said that she needed to forget her past, and therefore, she would not take the medicines from now on. Now, the scene shifted to the next day, and we saw Gina and Nak, who were perfectly fine now. After which, Gina, Nak, and Trang entered the elevator, and to forget the fear of her past, Trang pressed the button for the 5th floor, because she hadn't been able to forget the trauma that happened to her during childhood. But we could see that something far more terrifying was happening here, and boom, with this, the movie ended right here. So guys, this was the story of the film Tang Mei, or Elevator, a Vietnamese supernatural horror movie. Now look, I have 2 theories here. The first one is that Trang is still stuck inside a loop, and the Dark Maiden made her see that she escaped. She made her feel as if all of this was just a nightmare connected to her past trauma. Because in the past, when she was a child and played that game with Gina, she had gone to the 5th floor at that time as well, and she had seen the Dark Maiden there. But at that time, Trang managed to escape from the Dark Maiden and return. And once someone locks eyes with the Dark Maiden, she absolutely demands their soul after that. That is probably why she wanted her here, and she carried the trauma of this incident since childhood, which is why Trang had made drawings of the Dark Maiden everywhere inside her room. The point was that in reality, when Trang went into that elevator this time and played that game, she got trapped again, and now she felt as if all of this was just a dream. While in reality, Sun, Nak, Gina, Trang's mother, and Trang herself were trapped inside the dark world, and their souls now belong to the Dark Maiden. Or there could be another explanation. Perhaps the Dark Maiden had some kind of connection to Sun or Trang's mother. Maybe she became trapped there because of them. And only after that did the hospital become haunted. That could explain why she wanted Trang and her mother so badly. She wanted them to come to her, so that she could collect their souls. And if that's true, then Sun, Nok, and Gina would have become part of it as well. Now, the second theory suggests something completely different. What if everything was just a nightmare? Perhaps Trang was simply reliving her childhood trauma. And because she wasn't taking her medication properly, she may have imagined most of what we saw in the story. There is some evidence to support this theory as well. Earlier in the movie, Sun asked Trang whether she had taken her medicine, but later we found out that she hadn't been taking it at all. Now, perhaps in the end, she had overcome her trauma, and she no longer had any issue going inside the elevator. This happens, right, when someone goes through an accident or incident. Now, whether it is inside an elevator, on an escalator, or it could be anything, then after that, the person hesitates a little bit to go to that place. A sense of fear settles deep inside their mind. So, it is possible that this is likely what happened with Trang. But so many things happening, making drawings of the Dark Maiden. How could all of this be so perfectly aligned? So, I believe that for sure their souls have gotten trapped inside that dark world. And in the end, when Trang saw that she had come out of the elevator, that must have never actually happened. After arriving at the 5th floor, the Dark Maiden must have definitely collected her soul. And since then, all these people got trapped inside this very dark world, from which they can never escape now. So guys, I hope that you have understood the entire movie well by now. If you understood it, then please like the video.